Hey, CDR Nation. It's day 139, August the 26th. Diary of an Entrepreneur. Super Start Sunday. Here we go. Hey, CDR Nation, it is day 139. We are getting ready to step into the Why Not Me studio with Nathan Ellis. Going to do a little program on Are We Hardwired for Failure. Hope you guys enjoy this little crossover between CDR Nation and Why Not Me. So sit back, relax. This should be a good program. Hope you guys like it.
Hey guys, it's Nate. It's Why Not Me. Here with Cecil, CDR Nation. You guys seen him a few times.
What's up, guys?
Want to talk to you a little about college, and this is mostly for high schoolers that are unsure of what they're wanting to do. But it can even go as far as you're thinking about going back to college. You know what I mean? If that's still in your mindset of what you want to do with yourself. So anyway, the idea here is, what if we were all hardwired to fail? Let me explain here. What I mean is, from, since we were little, since I was little, it's always been crammed, in my head, in your guys' head. You want to go to school, you want to graduate high school, you want to go to college, get your degree, 2, 4, 6, 8-year degree, whatever you're going for, go to college, get a degree. That way you can get a good job with benefits. That's what we've always been told. What about yourself?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
And what I'm implying here is I feel like as if society is twisting it to where they're only producing good employees. They're sucking the creativity out of us, and they're making us into good production workers for other people. And that being said, we are teaching people, and we are being taught ourselves just to retain and repeat. And we don't really get our traits, if that makes sense. Thoughts, questions?
I think you're absolutely right, and I think to back up on that point, that this message is not only for people that are high school kids that are going into college. For most of my life, I went to college. I went to a 2-year college. I've also went 1 year later in life for computer animation for my writing career, and I've also went a year for psychology because I've always been interested in psychology and the human mind. And for 41 years, I've kind of felt ashamed that I've never finished any of those degrees, and I've learned now, through this process and of investigating this hardwired to fail with you, is that I shouldn't be ashamed of that. I shouldn't feel ashamed that I didn't finish those degrees, because maybe those degrees weren't for me. Maybe the track that I'm on with CDR Nation and with the entrepreneurship with Hometown Tees and TC Printing and more, maybe those are where I need to be. The entrepreneurship, I don't need a formal education to be an entrepreneur.
And I think it's really important, if you're not sure, getting out of high school, to really slow down, especially if you don't know what you want, to kind of slow down and take a step back, try to find yourself and what you're good at, what your potentials are, and see if you can match that up with something. Because, you can either pay for your education or you can get paid to be educated. There's two schools of thought. And if you have anything else to add, I'll go ahead and share my personal story.
You're absolutely right on that. I've got a daughter, CDR Nation knows this, Olivia. Olivia's going to take a year off when she graduates. She is a sophomore now, and she's going to graduate in 2 years. She's going to take a year off after graduation to learn some of the business that myself and her mother are in, to see if that's a direction she wants to go, or if she wants to go to a formal college. Now, I've got Boston, who's on our cameras today. She will probably head straight from high school right into college and become a doctor or a lawyer or something, where that you have to go to those. Do you have to go to college to get that degree to be in that profession? But like I said, Libby's going to take a year or two off just to find herself and see if maybe learning experiences for me in business is where she needs to be, or maybe she needs to go to a college.
Mm-hmm. So when I had graduated, This was in 2015, so just 3.5 years ago, probably getting close to 4 years ago. When I graduated, I still vividly remember the immense pressure that the word college held with it. And I think a lot of people would agree. I felt as if it was just being crammed down my throat. I didn't have time to think about what my other opportunities could be, what my other potential could be. I wasn't really in tune with myself back then either. But I had all these people trying to make decisions that didn't even know me for me. They tried to force me into a direction I didn't know if I wanted to go, because I was young and I was immature, and I just didn't know a whole lot at that point. But I was being forced towards a certain direction, and the biggest problem for me was, and it's still with me today, and I'll kind of share what I mean by that here in a little bit. But everybody had their teacher they really looked up to, who they really felt inspired by, whose opinion they really valued. And I had one too. I had a handful, but there's one in particular that I really liked, and I was always really wanting him to be proud of me and what I'd done. But he was all for college, and that wasn't a bad thing. I went to the meetings, that he set up with these, college people. We took field trips to Vincennes and IU and these different colleges to look at their programs that I could be enrolled in with the class. But I really wanted to make him proud, so I really considered college. But I just realized that it just wasn't for me. What I was wanting to do, I could do by myself without college. I didn't need a degree. But more importantly, I could have done it faster without being set back so much in time and money is the big thing that was going to be wasted for me, and I couldn't have it. And the reason I say it still sticks with me today is because I really valued his opinion, and I didn't understand how dangerous that really was to value somebody's opinion over my own. It puts you in some really sticky situations sometimes. But like I said, I really liked him, and I felt as if he was ashamed when I didn't go to college. And I still worked in my hometown after I graduated for 6 months or a year or so. And he would come into the store, he was, what you'd call a regular, and he'd stop in and ask me about it, and I got so uncomfortable, and I clammed up, I hated it. And even to this day, and this is a guy I really liked and admired and I look up to, but because of him forcing his opinion on me and it just not being my direction, I really, like I said, I just really clam up, and I try to avoid it because I don't want the awkward conversation, I don't want him to not be proud of me, and I'm still having a hard time facing it today, like I said. How was in high school? I mean, has anything changed? Like, was college still a big thing back then when you were in school?
Absolutely, and I think what you're kind of discussing, and I think what we may key this term, is maybe generational tradition, where generation after generation after generation after generation, it's go to college, like you said, and get a good job. Somewhere we switched from the farm where you took over the family farm, and you were able to learn from your elders, and you worked the land, and you produced on that land, and that land fed you, to the thought process of we had to go to school. I graduated in 95, and that was the only thing that we knew. We were going to college, we were going to get degrees. I went to college for small business management, and I had a professor. This is really, really awesome. You talk about teachers that inspired you. I had a professor that held up our book on the first day, and he said, "Who bought this book?" And all of us being freshmen, we raised our hand. We're like, "We bought this, we bought this, we bought this."
I remember this story.
And he threw the book in the trash can and said, "That is the first worst business decision that you've ever made in your life. That is useless." And he went on to tell us this guy had been CEO of major companies. He had worked his way up from nothing. He's a college professor. Yeah, he was trying to, but he was different than the status quo, because he was trying to teach us that the things that we're learning in these books that are going to say that everything is roses and rainbows in business is not right. He's the first one, before I heard Gary Vee say you got to be built to take a punch. He said that. I mean, business is going to knock the crap out of you. It's going to push you around, and this book is going to show you that everything's perfect on paper. So that was kind of an eye-opening experience for me, but I still knew that I had to get that degree or I was going to fail, and I traded I traded getting that degree with a supervisor at the company I worked for at the time. He sat me down and he said, "Hey, listen, I've got a lot of paper on the walls, but it doesn't mean anything. I've got several degrees on the. It doesn't mean anything. What means is it's what I'm doing out here, and I'm working and making money." And you would think that all these people telling me this, that I wouldn't have still bought into the concept that I have to get that degree, but I was still trying to get the degree. But I left college to work for this company, and I worked my way up to be probably one of their better managers at that company. Mm-hmm. But it still wasn't for me, because entrepreneurship is where I've always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see it for sure. So, I guess that brings us to, is college really worth it for everybody? Now, obviously, you know, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, you know, a law enforcer, well, not even like a local police, you don't even need a degree for it, but I see a lot of people go for it. But is a degree worth it if you don't absolutely need it?
I think the answer to that is no, and I've got kind of a longer, I know that's a short answer, but I kind of got a longer. I think tradition plays a lot into being hardwired to fail. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe in traditions when it spurs us in the right direction, but we have all these kids that are today that are saying, "Look at me, I'm the first to go to college in my family," or "I'm the first to graduate college in my family." And those colleges use those clips as advertising tools to get more people to buy into the I'm the first campaign. Where is the people out there that's saying, "I started my own business, I'm the first to start my own business, I'm the first to earn $1 million in my family, I'm the first to invest in real estate in my family"? We have all these kids out there that are trying to please their parents, that they're spending thousands of dollars to attend a college just to make their parents happy and proud. And look, I'm not down on the colleges. If you want to go to college, go. Like you said, some of them at Boston kind of looked at me funny because I think that she has decided she wants to be an FBI agent, and she's going to have to go to law enforcement for that. I mean, she's going to have to go to some kind of formal college to get that done. But we have kids out there that are spending thousands of dollars in college that shouldn't be there. With the right knowledge and the right investments, a garbage guy, you know, a guy that picks up the garbage, the garbage man, he can live a great and fulfilled life and not have to pay back thousands of dollars in student loans on an education that's never going to help him. That guy can go to work, learn from the people above him, invest in some real estate with the right knowledge, and he can live out his life maybe better than the stockbroker that's on Wall Street who all he wanted to be was a firefighter. I want to help people. I want to be a firefighter. And his dad says, "No, I was a stockbroker. Your grandpa was a stockbroker. You're going to be a stockbroker." Oh, and the garbage guy that a lot of people look down on is going to have a wife, 2 kids, a happy life because he's got some investments. He's doing what he likes. He's working outside. He's working with his hands and he's loving it. And you've got a guy that's in Wall Street who's miserable every day just because of traditions, just because we're trying to please our parents.
Oh, absolutely. And back to going to college and whatnot, you know, to please your parents or to please whoever it is. Would you say that college, I feel like it just doesn't get you the jobs it used to?
It doesn't. It seems like, and I'm not some expert on this, and we'll leave that to somebody that's more educated than I am. Somebody who's went to college for 8 years or 10 years. Yeah. Somebody who spent the money to do this. But I think that the colleges have turned into this mass factory of making money. That's what they want to do. They have to make the money, so therefore they're selling this whatever sells. Okay, so we know that being in business, we have to advertise and appeal, and our messages have to be to those people where we're getting the money, the cash flow. We've got to have that cash flow. Same with colleges. Okay, right now the big push is the first campaign. I was the first to go to college. I was the first to graduate in my family. And it's a sense of pride. And the colleges are building off of that, and they're bringing these people in. But now we're in this mass thing where we're teaching this mass philosophy, and we're not focusing on the individual. And I feel like high schools are going in that direction now.
Oh, absolutely.
We're okay, we got to go to college. So now we're teaching everybody to go to college, and we're not teaching any life skills. We're not teaching how to invest.
Yeah.
We're not teaching entrepreneurship anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not teaching life one-on-one anymore.
Yeah, there's no personal development or
Exactly.
business development.
Exactly.
You know?
How many kids out there can't even shake somebody's hand? How many
Absolutely.
kids out there can't even greet somebody in a proper way without texting them? Hold on, let me text you what. Hi, how are you? You know what I mean? So we can't even talk to people. And one of the things people are like, why do you bring your kids on interviews like this? Why do you let your kids do the videoing? They're getting skills that they're not going to learn in school unless they go to a special trade. Boston can go to a special trade for photography, but she's learning on the fly here. I want my kids to be able to sit down on a podcast like this or one of my CDR Nation programs and be able to talk to the audience and not have to phone it in.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. No, I don't want them to have to text this stuff in. I want them to be able to communicate in the proper way. And it seems like our colleges are only interested in the money now. I mean, we know as business owners you have to make money, and it seems like the colleges have switched to a business and not an institution of education.
Yes, I agree. I don't think kids largely know how much it really sets you back. You know what I mean? And the average student debt, and I just looked it up, I don't have, I'll post it in the credits where I got my source from. But the average student debt is right at $40,000. I think it's like 39.4 or something like that. And that's in total across 44 million borrowers. It comes up to about 1.48 trillion, and that's a lot. And for a 4-year degree, your standard bachelor's degree, it on average takes about 21 years to pay it back, and that's a big setback with your average payment being like $351 a month across 21 years. That's a big setback. I don't think people really take that into consideration, especially if you don't absolutely need the degree. What would you have to say?
You're absolutely right, and I did a speech in college right when I got out of college. I got a chance to go back to an organization that I belonged to called Business Professionals of America. That's one of the greatest points of college that I can say, hey, was a success, is because I got tied into this organization that taught me more than what college was teaching me. It taught me how to be an entrepreneur, but one of the points that I made to these college students that were probably 5 years behind me at the time is that just because, and I was speaking on buying things on credit, just because you can get it on credit doesn't mean you can afford it. And that's the same way with college. College is easy to get. The loans for college is easy to get. But that doesn't mean you're going to be able to afford the payback in the long run. And I think we fail to look at the $40,000 we're going to borrow for college. We don't look at the $80,000 or $90,000 that we're going to have to pay back.
And that's a great point. And people think, like college is going to better my life and it's going to make my life fantastic. But when you go to a bank to get your house, to get your car, they don't look at a fucking report card.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't give a shit what you did in school. They just don't care. That's not how life works. We're just being trained that way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous to have that big of a setback and nobody cares about it. You know what I mean? Unless you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, somebody that needs a degree, that needs that lot of years of education. But I know plenty of people that went just to get like social work degrees and they go to school and teach. And for what? They don't even need it.
Or let's step back and those guys who don't know what they want. So their parents are saying, you got to go to college, So they're like, dude, get me a general studies degree. Mm-hmm. Just because they want to appease their parents, they're spending $40,000 to appease their parents just because their parents says they have to go to school. So they're getting a general studies degree, which you can go straight into a factory, because I've been there, I've worked factory. Oh, yeah. You could ride a trash truck, whatever you want to do, and learn exactly what you're going to get in a general study degree. And I would like to do, and maybe we can do this for our next program, I'd like to take that 21 years at minimum wage, straight out of college, and see what that wage, if you're working 40 hours a week, what that wage is at the end of the 21 years. I guarantee it's more or equal to what you're paying in the college. Mm-hmm. College is not for everybody. We've been sold a bag of goods that's worthless. It's for the people who want to be doctors,
very expensive
lawyers.
Bag of goods.
Exactly. It's for those people that have to have those degrees. Look, Abe Lincoln was a lawyer and he was self-taught.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really, we have turned around in this country where the college is big business now.
Mm-hmm. And it's on my Instagram page, Facebook page, one of the two. and I forget who said it. Maybe I can look it up real quick. But I love the quote. It's formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And I really believe that. And Mark Twain also says, I will never let my education get in the way of my learning. And I really thought that was important to me too. I really took heart to that.
Nate knows, and my CDR Nation knows, the Why Not Me Nation may not know this, but I love Grant Cardone. I love his freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
I love his.
He just doesn't care.
He does not care. He puts it right out there. But he was telling a story the other day about when he first had his one of his daughters, or his wife was getting ready to have his daughter, and the doctor's like, "We got to get her to the hospital." And he said, "I don't think so." And the doctor's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "She's going to have that baby here." And he was like, "What happens if I'm not here and you have to deliver this baby, Grant? You don't know nothing about delivering a baby." He said, "Look, 99% of the things I did in life, I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I started them, and I learned on the fly, and I can have, this baby's going to be born at home. I'm going to tell you right now, the baby's going to be born at home." And I believe that. I believe that you can learn what you need to learn. Nathan and I learn from each other every day. Just because he's 21 and I'm 41 does not mean he doesn't have knowledge that I can't tap into, and vice versa. We learn from each other every day, and I believe that we can learn on the fly. Not all of us need to go to college.
Absolutely not. Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answer. You know, it's just what works best for you. And my moral, and I'm sure you have a different view, but what I want to make sure gets across is that, I mean, the root of it is just, you got to do you. You know what I mean? You can't take what other people want you to do. You can't let other people build your life for you. It's going to be incredibly detrimental, and it's dangerous to live that way. You have to value your opinion more than you value your mom's, your dad's, your teachers, your boss, your best friend. You have to do what's best for you and not want to please people, because you can't please everybody. You know what I mean?
And you say that a little bit cleaner than what I do with CDR Nation, and you get on to me a lot for this, for my language and things like that. But it's to be the best damn whatever you can be, whatever you choose, and you choose. And we've talked about this, and we kind of coined this phrase too between Why Not Me and CDR Nation. And it's to give a shout out, kind of a shameless shout out to both of us. It's awesome how that we can cross those two nations in with each other. And that we work with each other in that area where that we cross the topics, like you choose. And you have to choose what's right for you, just like you said. But don't go out there and just go to college because your parents want you to go to college and then be a D student. Mm-hmm. If you choose to go to college, then be the best damn college student you can. Oh, yeah. Be the top of climb as top to the top as far as you can, and then when you graduate, whatever you graduate, be the best damn whatever you can be. I'm out there trying every day to be the best damn entrepreneur that I can be, and I tell my kids, I'm a better entrepreneur than I am a dad. I'm a better entrepreneur than I am a friend. I mean, I really am, because I'm focused on my businesses. They're like my children. They're like my friends, and I focus on those businesses to build them to the best of my damn knowledge that I know.
Oh yeah, and if you don't care, and you go to college isn't going to make you care. You know what I mean? And you might feel good. You get to tell people, yeah, I'm in college. I'm going for this. I'm going for that. But I mean, smart people will see straight through that. You know what I mean? People just seem to always have the ability to just read the thin line of BS, And like I'm saying, if you don't care now and you go to college, you're not going to care then. And like I said, it's just going to set you back so much more than if you would have just taken your time. As Gary Vee says, you can close your eyes until you're 30 and still be young as fuck. You know what I mean? And you can waste all the time you want and not be in debt $40,000.
And I think you said something earlier too, and I was just thinking, I kind of spaced out on you there, but I was kind of thinking, you said something earlier that I think is a great point as well, is that we're going to college and we're learning how to repeat stuff. No, we're learning. Okay,
retain and repeat.
Exactly, retain and repeat. We're learning how. And I was never a good student, and I was never a good test taker. I could not take a test because my mind works different. Mm-hmm. My mind works on a creative side that colleges are not really built on. They're not built on that creative side. So to be able to say, okay, here's a question, and the answer is A, and I can memorize, okay, the dog is brown. What color was the dog? Oh, the dog was brown. Okay, that just didn't work for me in that area, and I think that colleges are built like that. That we are where we learn the information, we retain it, and then we spit it out on paper. Life's not like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're so straightforward and narrow that a lot of our college students can't work in the gray area. They totally, and I may be talking out of turn, but you could probably look at a suicide rate and a failure rate, and people who feel like they're worthless is because when they get inside that gray area, they don't know how to get back. They don't, and us guys out there that are working off the creative side, and this goes guys out there like you that didn't go to college, or me that went to college but found out it wasn't for me. We know how to work in that gray area. We know how to work in the shadows and get back to where we need to go.
And not to get personal with you, but did you feel as if college set you back? Could you be farther along, or at least faster, if you wouldn't have went?
I think yes. I think the short answer is yes, and probably there's a longer answer to that. College helped me in the aspect that I got to go away, and I got to leave the farm, and I got to learn a whole new world. But could I have...
And just experience more. And
exactly. But could I have took that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 I spent on college and went to Europe and get the same experience?
Yeah, you could have got it
absolutely,
a lot
yes.
cheaper.
So it's not that I went to college that changed my life. It's that I got away from the farm that changed my life, and I could do that anywhere. Yeah, I should have started my businesses 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It would have made me, college set me back in the format that I should have already be rolling in my businesses, but it gave me experience where I met new people, Business Professionals of America. I love that organization. It gave me, but I could have did that anyway.
Oh yeah. That finishes up for what I have. Do you have any other comments that you'd like to add?
I do, and this is kind of maybe out there a little, but I think that college has become easy. And it has become easy to get into. And now being out there by yourself, like I said beforehand, we were farmers and we produced things, and we learned from our elders, and we took over the farm, and we were proud to do that. And now we're saying, okay, you can't take over the family business. You need to go to college. That's the big thing. You need to do this. I think there's some fear of not going to college, and I think it's harder. I think it's harder being out there in an entrepreneur or building a business than it is to go to college. And I think it's easier to go get a job and to do what everybody says you should do, society says you should do. So I think we've bought into the American dream that we all go to college, we all get the big house and the happy family. And we talked about how that didn't work for me. I was miserable being that guy.
Setback.
It is, and I was miserable being the guy who had the good job, who was the family man, who was buying the house on the hill, who was building the American dream, but it wasn't my dream. My dream is to be down there in the trenches, making something out of nothing. I love to be able to look at a T-shirt on somebody that walks by me and say, man, my company made that. I love to look at opening. We're getting ready to open up a new shop in Mitchell, Hometown Teas of Mitchell, and I know you've been there with me looking at some of those shops, and to visualize and think, this is it. This is the first. I'm the first one to put a Hometown Teas of Mitchell in Mitchell. Has there been other T-shirt shops? Yeah, but there's never been a Hometown Teas. And there's never been one that Cecil's put there. And that's what I like about that. The first campaign should be what you want to do. Not you're the first to go to college just because you think you should. But why not be the first to build a business? Why not the first to be open up a T-shirt shop in a town, my hometown? That's where I'm going. It's back to my hometown.
Yeah, and I'm all about investing in yourself, time and money, all alike. But there is such a thing as a bad investment. You know what I mean? And for people who want to argue it that way, you really just have to kind of sit down and take a look, and spread it all out in front of you. If you really want to break it down into assets and liabilities, it's a liability, you know what I mean? An asset is making you money. A lot of people have shiny liabilities, you know what I mean? But it's an investment in yourself, sure. But could you have taken less money or no money at all and learn the same thing in less than 4 years or even in your 4 years? And be ahead of yourself making money instead of it costing you money.
Yeah, if you want to break it down, the only thing that you're investing in when you go to college, I mean, there's an argument where you're getting knowledge and blah blah blah, but the thing you're only really investing in is that piece of paper that's going to go on your wall.
Mm-hmm.
That diploma is the only thing you're investing in. So my argument is one with my life is that I was able to go to college and learn an experience that I could have got if I went to Europe. I could have got that experience.
And people don't realize that college is a business, just like every other business. And they want your money.
Yep.
And they don't care, you know what I mean, who you are, what they do, you know, what you do, what you want to do. If you give them money, hey, you can be on a program. Sure, it's going to cost you a lot, though. You know, they don't care. You know, they don't want to sit there and say, hey, you could go this route and it'd be cheaper. You know, I wouldn't go to college for you. No, it's yeah, come on in. We got a program just for you, baby. Let's go.
And you and I have talked about this, about starting a young leadership class,
Mm-hmm.
where that we can get young leaders in and tell them, you know, give them knowledge of building businesses.
Grant Cardone says you got the wrong information.
Yes, and I think sometimes people need to get out there, not necessarily fight the colleges, but maybe there should be another movement out there of people like us that's putting information out here. That's why I like the Why Not Me program. That's why.
Yeah, we're not saying college is wrong. We're just
There's
saying
another option.
Yes, and maybe it's not the best thing for you. Maybe college is good for you, and that's fantastic. But for some people, it's not. And we're just here to put that out there, that it's okay to follow what you want to do. You don't have to slide right in with everybody else. Be the black sheep.
Exactly, and you answered my question there, or answered my answer with your answer. We do this a lot, but there shouldn't be a stigma on those guys who don't, or gals that don't want to go to college.
Oh, yeah.
There shouldn't be that stigma, because let's face it, there's a lot of success stories out there of people who are self-taught or didn't go to college that are making triple what people are going to college for.
I think it was like 78% of billionaires didn't go to college.
Amen.
And I don't even know what the percentage is that didn't even graduate high school.
And I'm not down on the parents either, because the parents mean well. Like Natasha's mom wanted her to go to school to be in the medical field, and Natasha wanted to be a teacher. Natasha's my fiance. My CDR Nation knows that. I'm not sure Why Not Me Nation knows that, but she wanted to go to school to be a teacher, and she never got that chance. She never got to go to school to be what she wanted, because her mom thought she knew better. Medicals were going to make more money at it. We're all about making more money, but sometimes we have to realize we should be about all of what makes us happy.
Oh, yeah.
Not about just about the money. Let's go for what makes us happy.
And then there's a point that you get to, you know, with age and maturity, that, you know, your parents always know best for you, but there's a certain point you get to where you got to start making your own decisions, because at some point you got to know what's best for you.
You have to choose.
Exactly.
This is your life.
You know, once you get to that point, you can't listen to what everybody's going to say is best for you, because you should know.
So I think, to answer your question, are we hardwired to fail? Absolutely. I think we are, and I think it's time to rewrite the code to our mental stability to say, listen, we're not going to take it anymore. Some of us are not meant to go to college. Mm-hmm. Let's rewire.
We've got to change our thinking.
We've got to change our thinking.
Change
Absolutely.
your thinking, change your life.
There you go. Amen. I love it.
All right, big dog.
Good place to stop at, right there. I love it, brother.
See, and this is how you do a handshake. Firm handshake.
Firm, right
Look
there.
in the eyes.
Yep, right there.
It means business.
It means business.
Alrighty.
Hey, CDR Nation. Just got done in the Why Not Me studio with Nathan Ellis. Hope you guys enjoyed that crossover on Are We Hardwired to Fail? I think we may talk a little bit more of that this coming week. Different thoughts that we couldn't get into a 30-minute podcast, but I'm sure we'll revisit that as we go along in the future. Hope you guys like that. I love the crossover that Nathan Ellis and with Why Not Me and CDR Nation has. Seems like we really feed off of each other. You know, I've said before I could do this on my own, but why would I want to? Why would I want to be able to collaborate with a team like that? Why wouldn't I want to be able to build off that and feed off Why Not Me, and have Why Not Me feed off CDR Nation? Love the camaraderie that we have, the way we work together on camera. Love it. Can't wait to do more of it. Can't wait to get more of it going. So we are building brick by brick. Can't wait to see what we do in the future with this Why Not Me CDR Nation crossover. hopefully get my podcast going soon. I've got the Why Not Me crossover things on the podcast, but hopefully I get out there and record on certain days with you guys, get different messages out there to you guys. But we're building something here with Why Not Me and CDR Nation. Great crossover. You know, what a difference a second makes, guys. What a difference a minute makes. What a difference, an hour makes. What a difference a day makes. What a difference a week makes. What a difference a month makes. And hell yeah, what a difference a year makes, guys. It doesn't matter where you start. Like I told Nate Ellis with Why Not Me, get on camera, get on the podcast, get on the audio, get your message out there. You got a great message, just get started. And that's what it's about, guys. You just got to get started. We still have a ton of issues. We're still learning. We're not professionals. We didn't go to school for photography or vlogging or video editing. We're just making it happen each way we can. We're building, we're learning on the fly, and that's what it's going to be about. And now Nathan Ellis is an ally in that. He's got his own editing software and his camera, and he's videotaping himself. And we're talking almost every night on video chat about different things and growing together. And what he learns, he shares, and what I learn, I share. So that's what it's about, guys. The right team around you. Doesn't matter if they're on your team or if they're just equal to you, but the right team there, the right people you're connected with, man, that can make all the difference in the world for you. So, it only takes one opportunity. It only takes one stone to take down the giant, one swing of the sword to slay the dragon. Man, guys, it just takes one. Keep going. We've got a long way back here to French Lick. About a 30-minute drive from Nate Ellis's Why Not Me headquarters. So we're headed back. Going to edit some, get some things done. I got a long night ahead of me tonight, so I'm going to get off here, get some drive time in, listen to some music, relax, talk to Boston and Denver, and then we're gonna go from there. We're gonna see what the rest of the night brings. So, all right, guys, here we go.